I spent 30 days doing Joe Dispenza's Changing Boxes meditation. And what happened wasn't just unexpected, but it completely transformed how I understand reality creation. By day 7, my body was fighting with me with every excuse imaginable. But by day 21, something shifted that I can't even explain through conventional science. And so today I'm going to break down exactly what happened, the resistance that I faced, and the measurable results that proved that this isn't just spiritual bypassing, but it's literally reality reconstruction at the quantum level. But first, look, if you are still trying to manifest by changing your external world, you're playing a game you can't win, my friend. It's like trying to change a TV program or station by rearranging the furniture in your room. It's pretty ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what 98% of people are doing. But before I dive in, I want to be clear about something. This isn't just another I meditated and now I'm enlightened video, but this is about what happens when you commit to rewiring neural pathways through consistent practice and the crazy reality shifts that follow. Now, for those that don't know who Joe Dispenza is and what the Changing Boxes meditation is, it's designed to help you step out of your current identity or your current box where there's maybe a problem that you are facing or experiencing, and literally into a new one. It sounds so simple, but it literally is that simple in the meditation. Now, it's about becoming no body, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, which sounds like spiritual mumbo jumbo until you actually experience what happens. Now, I've got my iPad here, so I've got some notes that I want to, read out to you. So this is what my experiment looked like. It was for 30 days, consecutive 30 days. It was the same meditation every morning. Dr. Joe's Changing Boxes, the short version. And I was tracking specific metrics in my business and also in my personal life. I was also documenting my physical sensations that I was experiencing and also the synchronicities that I experienced as well. And I didn't include any other manifestation techniques during this 30-day period as well. Before I start, I want to tell you something funny. Every time someone thinks manifestations are actually not working, when they think it's failing, that is when your manifestation is actually working. You know, when that feeling when things may seem to be falling apart, when it's all going wrong, that's not failing. That is your manifestation working. And you're going to understand why by the end of this video. So buckle up, because what I'm about to share might make you question everything you think you know about reality creation. So let's start from the beginning. Days 1 to 7, okay? The days 1 to 7 is what I call the death phase. And holy crap, this was uncomfortable. Day 1, I sit down, excited for this experiment. 5 minutes into the meditation, my mind is like, hey, remember that email you need to reply to? Remember that invoice that you forgot to pay? Your Instagram is probably losing followers right now. Immediately. I was like, what the heck? But this is the battle. This is literally the battle. My mind is trying to pull me back into survival mode, into the familiar past. That was only day 1. Now, day 3. My body literally started aching. Not in a sense where I worked way too hard in the gym, aching, but it was a weird, deep cellular discomfort. It's like my body was trying to say, excuse me, what the heck are you doing? We had an agreement to stay in this comfortable misery that you're in. And we've been operating this way for decades. That's what it was saying. You can't just decide to change the programming. I'm going to make you so uncomfortable that you get back into your old frequency. That was what was happening. My ass was hurting. My lower back was aching. And it was like something just within me. I can't explain it. Okay, day 5. Oh my gosh. I wake up at 3 a.m. randomly feeling anxious about absolutely nothing. And this is what Joe talks about when he talks about chemical withdrawal. This is it. It's a chemical withdrawal from my addiction to my old states of being. And so my body was literally an addict to my past emotions. And so it was fighting me to get its fix. And now I used to smoke weed a lot and I was addicted to it. And it is the exact withdrawal that I experienced. Day 7, I was ready to quit. I had a headache, an irritability, and I was so pissed because nothing was happening in the 3D. In fact, things were getting worse. I had a client cancel on me. My computer crashed, stopped working, and I didn't save something. and I had an argument with someone that was quite close to me. But what I realized was that this is where most people mess up. This is what I was talking about, where they interpret these signs as it's not working when it actually is. Because this is exactly what should be happening. Because my old frequency was dying and it wasn't going down without a fight. Okay? Remember, your old self is an entity. It's a living energetic signature. And when you start to shift, oh my God, it will fight you for its survival. It will fight for its survival. Day 8 to 14. This is what I call the depression phase. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And after the first initial resistance, I entered this weird neutral zone. I wasn't particularly happy or sad. I just felt empty. That sounds like it's got a negative connotation to it, but it felt like I was a cup and there was nothing inside me. There was nothing inside that cup. That's what it feels like. That's the best way I can describe it. You're just empty, and it was like you're in between worlds. Day 10. I'm sitting in meditation, and for the first time, experience what Joe calls no body, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time. I actually experienced it. For about 30 seconds, I completely lost my sense of self. It wasn't scary, but it was actually quite liberating, freeing. But then came the existential questions. Who am I if I'm not my problems? Who am I if I'm not my past? Who am I if I'm not constantly striving or struggling? This is the gap when you're in between frequencies. And this is where most people panic and they run back to their old frequency because they don't know what the unknown is like, and they're not into their new frequency yet. And the reason why they run back is because the universe wants energetic equilibrium. Now, when you step out of your current frequency, the universe wants to bring you back to balance. Okay? Day 12, I noticed something strange. Things that used to trigger me, they just don't. When I remember someone cut me off in traffic that day, and instead of getting frustrated or getting road ragey, I just observed it happening. And it felt like I was watching my life from a slight distance. That's what it felt like. Day 14, I have this profound realization during meditation. That voice inside my head that was identifying as me, it was actually just my old programming. It wasn't me at all. It was a collection of memorized thoughts and emotions running on autopilot. And here's what's crazy. I realized I have been living in what I call manifestation time, where I was constantly checking to see if my manifestation was working, wondering if it's coming, how it's going to happen. I was looking for signs and synchronicities. You know what I mean? Day 14, I thought you should be, something would have happened by now. But the moment you start looking for signs, you are admitting to the universe that you don't believe it's already done. Let that sink in. The moment you start looking for signs, you're admitting to the universe you don't believe it's already done. Okay. Day 15 to 21. This is where things get weird, and in the best possible way. So day 15, I wake up with a deep sense of certainty. Not about anything specific, just this knowing that everything is working out perfectly, or that I'm going to be perfectly fine. And I hadn't even done my meditation yet that morning. Day 17, the synchronicities start. I was thinking about a collaboration that I was doing with someone, and within hours, I get an email from that person exactly about that. I was thinking about a specific person who I haven't spoken to in years, and they called me that same day. Crazy. Now, the skeptic in me wanted to dismiss these as coincidences. This is in the same day. But when they happen 5, 6, 7 times in a row, that's not a coincidence. That's frequency alignment. Now, day 19, I noticed that my business metrics were shifting. And I didn't change anything when it comes to my external strategies. I didn't change any new marketing. I didn't do any new outreach. I was still creating content, but my engagement increased by 47%. It was like people were responding to my content differently, almost like they can feel that shift in my energy through the screen. That was cool. Day 21, this was the breakthrough day. Yep. During meditation, I experienced what I can only describe as a complete dissolution of my identity, ego death. And it only lasted for about 5 minutes. I had no sense of being a separate self. I was pure awareness, pure consciousness. And when I came back to my body, it felt like I was wearing it differently. It was like I was operating it from a new center. And after meditation, oh my God, this is the crazy bit. After meditation, I checked my phone and there's an email from a business coach who I hadn't even followed up with yet. And they just decided to work with me. Get this, for free. And this person is quite big, so I have no idea why would they would offer their service to me for free. But I've been wanting to work with them for months, but I felt like I wasn't ready. This stuff is crazy. Now, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to illustrate what happens when you shift your frequency first instead of trying to change your external reality through action or physical action alone. Remember, it's frequency first, action second, and then results third. It's so simple. But I bet your mind wants to reverse that order. They want results first, action second, and then frequency first. Okay. Day 22 to 30th. Okay. This is where I was stabilizing in my new frequency. But this is where the real work begins, because this is where where most people don't understand about frequency shifts. They are not permanent unless you make them permanent through consistent reinforcement. And so in day 23, I noticed my old patterns trying to creep back in. There was a voice in my head saying, this is way too good to be true. You don't deserve this. This is all just a coincidence. And I call this the frequency wall. And this is what Dr. Joe talks about when he says this is the final battle. The final battle that the old self will make in one last desperate attempt to pull you back. I'm surprised it came at this day. Now, oh, this is good. Day 25, I have a dream where I'm literally watching my old self from a distance. And it was like I was observing a character in a movie. And when I woke up from this dream, I had a profound sense of knowing and realization that I was finally detached from that old version of me. Woo! That was cool. It was like visceral. You felt it. I felt it. Now, day 27, something profound happens. I'm in the middle of a potentially stressful situation at the airport. My flight gets cancelled. I'm stuck at the airport. My plans are disrupted, and I'm going into stress mode, right? Instead, I remain calm and completely neutral, and I'm like doing some breathing exercises to get me back into homeostasis. And here's the magic. Within an hour, I'm rebooked on a better flight. I'm upgraded to business class, and I'm sitting next to someone who becomes a valuable business connection. This was only 2 months ago. And this is what happens when you maintain your frequency regardless of external circumstances. The universe literally rearranges itself to match your internal state. Day 30, the final day. I complete the experiment with a profound realization. I didn't just change my external reality. I changed who I was at a fundamental level. Because when you change who you are, your state of being, everything else follows naturally. All without trying to change a single marketing or business strategy in my business, but just by shifting my frequency through consistent meditation. Now, if you want to try this experiment yourself, I want to give you some practical tips. First, you got to commit fully. If you go in half-assed, then don't be surprised if you get half-assed results by the universe. You've got to decide that for 30 days, this is non-negotiable and this is priority. You're going to expect resistance. Your body is going to fight you. Your mind will try to create every excuse, a story. And let me tell you something. Those stories, you can easily get sucked into them. But this is normal and actually a sign that it's working. Next, please track everything. Measure your business metrics, your emotional states, sleep quality, your synchronicities, dreams. Data doesn't lie. And stay in the void. When you hit that neutral zone where nothing seems to be happening, that's actually where the magic happens. So don't go running back to your old self out of discomfort. Maintain your new frequency, or maintain in love with your desired reality regardless of circumstances. Remember, the strongest frequency wins. If you can maintain your new state regardless of what's actually happening in the 3D external reality, you win. Oh, now lock into what I'm about to say, because it's not going to be easy, but it is simple, but not easy. It requires you to face your own programming, to sit in the discomfort of the unknown instead of going back to your old familiar comfort of your past. And I can tell you from experience, it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Because once you understand these laws and begin applying them, you can never go back to your old ways of being. And so now the question becomes, are you willing to become so conscious of your conscious self that you never go unconscious again? Because that takes a lot of will, and that takes a lot of courage to do that. And if you found value in this video, then please make sure to hit subscribe and that notification bell, and please share this with someone who does Joe's work. And if you want to work with me, see where all your blind spots are so you can easily create from your desired reality, link is in the description. But the choice is yours, my friend. You can stay in the 98% of people who keep living by the hormones of stress, or step into the 2% who understand these laws and create reality from a new state of being. What's it going to be?